All right, we're live back for the first episode of the week, Black and White Takes. In case you guys don't know now, we posted this, I think, in the bios of our Instagram and TikTok now, but we are going to be going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The plan is going to be to start at 7 p.m., but I'd say anytime between 7 to 7:30, you'll be able to catch us. You know, one of us is always jangling, so we'll have to get on top of that. It hasn't really been Jace yet too much, so
Nah.
it's mainly just me and Simi.
Okay, my bad.
But
my bad
yeah,
today,
we gotta.
boys.
Man.
No, you're good.
This
But
is
we
Black
got
and White Takes.
exactly. We got a lot to break down though. Crazy weekend in basketball, and I feel like the games are just nonstop. A little bit of a lighter day tonight compared to what we've had so far in the playoffs, just 2 games. But I guess before we get into this challenge, Jace, let's just give a quick recap. Any reactions to the weekends? I guess let's talk about yesterday because we had 4 games at least. But yeah, for me personally, 2-2 day. I started off 0-2, and I was like, oh shoot, this is going to be ugly. But we finished pretty strong. Ended up taking the Pacers and then the Celtics to finish a 2-2 day. But Pistons and Knicks. Oh, that's a good call, Jace. All
Yeah,
right,
let's just talk about it real quick. So we're gonna start a new weekly rollover bet challenge. We're gonna try to go 7 days of rolling over our bet, giving out one pick. And we're gonna start with just $15, and if that bet hits on Monday, we're gonna roll it over to Tuesday, and all the way and see if we can get through till Sunday. So it's gonna be very simple. We're gonna be posting it every day on our Twitter. And TikTok. So for tonight, we're on as a team Heat +9.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Yep, simple. Get it out there before the game starts. That's what I was
yeah, I
thinking.
mean, we didn't really get too much of a chance to talk on this, but I feel like it's probably the right read. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the X page right now. Heat +9. Jace, do you have any cap there or anything that you feel on why this might be the right side?
Man, I just like the toughness of the Heat, and I think whenever there's a chance for them to play at home, in which they cover a lot at home. I mean, granted, the Cavs are one of the better teams on the road, but I think the Heat are a tough team with their exposure. They're going to come out ready to play tonight. They're not going to go out sad. It's kind of a culture thing with the Heat. So I think +9 is just too big of a number. I do think the Cavs win tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like we saw yesterday with the Detroit and Knicks. It's going to be a physical game. I could also see the Heat getting hot, staying close in this game, and it finishing around like a 2 to 4 point game.
Yeah, I don't disagree. To be honest, I don't think anyone at this point really wants to bet the Heat. But I did hear an interesting thing that they talked about on the J Money podcast about with Garland playing, how like why is this number now going up 4 points? It was, I think it at some point was at 5 or 4.5 before game 3 with the Heat at home, and now we're getting, and Garland was out that game, but now we're getting Cavs -9 with Garland playing. Is he really worth that much to the spread? I just think it's too many points, and yeah, I think this is a good spot to back the Heat.
So, Jay, can you explain the rollover, like what that means?
Yeah, so essentially, right, so we're going to give out a play today. We're putting 15, whatever. You guys don't need to know our units, but whatever. That's what we're doing. And then we're going to just keep rolling over that bet. If it hits, we're going to roll it over to Tuesday. And then we're going to bet the complete outcome of tonight if we hit on Tuesday. And then if we hit Tuesday, roll it over to Wednesday. And we're trying to go 7 days in a row of rolling over our bet and just make it through the week. And we're going to keep doing that until we get through the week.
What happens if it misses today? Do we start a new rollover tomorrow, or do we wait until next week?
Nah, we're going to wait till next week. I think we just keep it like a weekly challenge.
Perfect.
Got it. And what's the goal, to hit 3, I guess, when we have the podcast, or is it every day of the week? Or
No, we're going to be posting our plays.
Gotcha.
So the goal is to hit 7 straight, and you're going to have to follow our X or our TikTok where we're going to be posting them.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, I just posted on X. It's at black_white take on X. Heat +9. It's our first bet of our new weekly rollover bet challenge. So definitely keep an eye out for future plays on that. All right, well, let's move on to the next segment because, I mean, what is this podcast without getting into our best bets? Jace, we already kind of talked about the Heat, but I'll let you kick off your best bets as a whole.
Yeah, my best bets. We're just gonna focus on tonight's games. I got Heat +9. It's kind of a more of a lean, but I agree with your take, Semi or Al or Cameron. I don't think Garland's worth 5 points. So I'm just backing the Heat and the toughness in their culture here. And then I love Warriors -3.5. I think that number is too small. When Steph smells blood in the water, man, we saw what he did to Boston in 2022. I think this is another situation. I expect Steph to go off tonight and carry the Warriors. I think this should be more like 5.5. This number is just too short for me. I'm going to back Steph and the Warriors here.
Simi, you got anything for tonight or coming up for best bets?
I don't have any strong looks tonight. No tickets in my pocket. I guess I was leaning towards the Warriors. I'm not super certain. I think that line's going to close at maybe like 4.5. It's taking some Jimmy Butler steam.
Yeah.
I kind of lean towards that being a close game. Would lean Warriors, but no official bet for me. We'll probably have some looks later in the week. Anything for you, CK, tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it, before we went on air. I do have my two leans that I did play for today, so I did take the Heat. I had a boost, so I think I got him at +9.5. But I do lean Heat, and I do lean the Rockets. So Jason and I are head to head on this one. But for me, I mean, honestly, I want to be on the Warriors. I could see this being a very much a Joe spot, and I do think this number is a little too steep. I know that the Rockets obviously have trouble scoring, and Steph is pretty much cleared as the best player in this series by far. If you just look at the total points compared to basically everyone else on the court, I think he's 30 over the next person, which is saying
Yeah, it's like 31 or something over the next person.
Yeah, it's wild. And then I'm also seeing this line move now. So I got the Rockets +4, but it looks like there's some 4.5s out there. So it definitely is going in the direction of the Warriors here. So I did make a play here just for 1 unit, and then also 1 unit on the Heat +9. And as I am looking at that play, it looks like the
The boys are getting rolled already.
Yeah, already getting their spread covered in the first 3 minutes. No, I'm just playing. It's a long game. I feel like if there's any team to have dignity, and kind of my thought process is like, I mean, even though there's not much dignity in the NBA, it's like, we already know how much these guys are making and all the antics and sitting out. But if there is going to be one program to have dignity, I could just see the Heat being that team. So yeah, those are the best bets. Let's definitely keep an eye to see if what happens in that Warriors game. I do think that there is a point or two of value though on the Rockets. So yeah, let's just do a quick recap. Jace, I want to get your thoughts just on this Pistons Knicks series. Obviously a dramatic ending. We've got the Knicks now up 3-1, headed back home. How do you feel about the Pistons, man?
Dude, I think they're real, man. Like every game has been competitive. If it wasn't for, Karl Anthony Towns, popping off, the man with a little bit of sugar in the tank. I think Pistons tie this series and they blew game one. Like this is a competitive series. I think they're here long term to stay. I don't think this is just like a fluke 1 year, kind of like what we've seen out of Sacramento. I think they're a very legit team. They're giving the Knicks the run for their money, man. This has not been an easy series for them at all, which I don't think anyone expected it to be. It's kind of sad that the Pistons didn't get a win at home. I know that kind of is frustrating, and I could see them kind of, coming out flat in Game 5 because of that. I mean, when you lose 2 at home, that's a tough spot to be in. But I think in the future, the Pistons are in a good spot. I mean, Kate Cunningham's real. We've seen that. Um, I think they need to go get some bigs in the draft coming up. If they can land a solid big, I think that's gonna go a long way for them. I think playing Tobias Harris, he's just is a little undersized for Cat in this series, and it's kind of exposing them. But no, man, I like the Pistons. They put up a fight. I have nothing but respect for Cade and what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Do you see this basically ending?
I see it ending it. Yeah, I see it ending game 5.
Okay. Yeah, so if I'm looking at the line right now, we've got Knicks minus 5.5. Simi, you have any lean there? Do you think the Pistons are pretty much done here? Or?
Kind of leaning towards the Knicks minus 5.5 there. I was listening to J Money and Fiddle talk earlier, CK as you were too, and I know Fiddle's leaning Knicks. He made a good point and said that the Knicks haven't really put together a full game here. So, and the fact that they're still up 3-1 is saying something. So, lean Knicks to put together the full game and cover that 5.5 number, and yeah, that series to end in 5 games.
Yeah, no, I could see. I want to say if I had to make a bet, I would probably take the Knicks in 6. I could see somehow. I just feel like this Pistons team is gonna at least keep it close as they've done the past couple games, and possibly have a chance to win this game 5. And then I could definitely see um, the Knicks closing out in Detroit. I mean, it seems like that's been the place where the Pistons have had a harder time closing out these games. Real quick, I want to bring up before we move on to the next series. Do you guys think there's any value? I was looking at some of the conference winners futures. Right now, we've got the Knicks at plus 1,300. They're in third behind the Celtics and the Cavs, and then it's the Knicks at plus 1,300. Is there any value there, or do we basically see this Knicks team as still a step below the Cavs and the Celtics?
I see them as a step below. What's the Pacers value?
Yeah, Pacers are plus 2,100.
See, I like the Pacers over the Knicks. If I'm being honest, they're healthier. Brunson obviously tweaked his ankle yesterday. I think that's big. He missed the last month of the season with that ankle. So I mean they're one play away from what putting McBride as their starting point guard or Cameron Payne, one or the other, which puts them in a tough spot. Obviously, they run through Brunson. He's so creative offensively. He dominates the ball. So with that injury, I think that's just a risky spot to take the Knicks. I think the Pacers are a much healthier team. They're playing great basketball. They play a unique style with their pace of play. So, I mean, I think the better value would be in the Pacers outside of the Cavs and Celtics, of course.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point, and I actually completely agree. What do you think, Simi?
Yeah, I guess I'd go Pacers over the Knicks too. I think I mentioned on the last pod that the vibes just feel a little bit off in New York now without their duo of Hartenstein and DiVincenzo. But I also have a Cavs Eastern Conference future ticket in my pocket, so that one I feel very confidently about. I think this is a 2-man race in the Eastern Conference, along with probably the rest of the public thinking that the Celtics or the Cavs are going to win this conference. And yeah, I like that the Cavs had a little more value than the Celtics, so plug that and maybe can hedge if that matchup ends up happening.
Yeah, that's a good point. It definitely seems like the consensus, I mean, probably for most people, is that this is going to come down to the Celtics and Cavs. I wish there was a way that we could see how I would love to see how a Knicks Pacers series plays out at this point in the season, or this point in the playoffs, I should say. Obviously, we probably will not end up seeing that because at least one of these teams will probably lose in the next round. But it would be interesting to see, because I do think that I actually think the Pacers will win that series against the Knicks, if I'm being honest.
Dude, yeah. It'd be such a bad matchup for the Knicks.
Yeah, it
Too
wouldn't
fast. I mean, the Knicks just played too many, or their guys too long. I mean, as the series went on, it would be brutal with the pace of play of the Pacers. It'd be a terrible matchup for the Knicks.
The Pacers go 10 deep, kind of, or like 9 deep,
Dude.
maybe.
Yeah, and they play so fast.
Yeah, and that's a good point because especially as we get deeper in the playoffs, like the deeper you are,
the more minutes you log. Yeah,
exactly. So the Pacers, who are they? Are they going to play the Celtics or the Cavs? I'm trying to remember which way they fall.
Let me look.
Do we know?
Yeah, NBA playoffs.
I want to say they're the 4 seed, so they're going to play the Cavs, which will be a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, they played the Cavs.
Yeah. All right. Well, we don't have to get too far into that future hypothetical matchup, but let's move on to. So the second game we saw yesterday was the T Wolves and the Lakers. T Wolves got it done. Ant Edwards, crunch time. It's kind of been the story of the few games that the Timberwolves have won, and again, it's specifically in crunch time. Like we have seen LeBron have these spurts of great play. He seems to have somewhat of a fountain of youth with his ability to score, get to the rim still. But I think I saw a stat in the last 5 minutes between Luka and LeBron. I think they had a combined 2 points or something. So it's the crucial moments where the Lakers are continuously losing the game. Jess, what's your reaction of the T-Wolves being up 3-1?
Dude, I'm shocked. Especially with how much LeBron and them got to the line yesterday. I mean, everything about that game favored the Lakers. The fact that they weren't able to get it done with Luka and LeBron in crunch time says a lot about kind of like what else can the Lakers do, man? They're just in a tough spot. I think Luka, regardless for how many points he scores and how great he's been kind of like disappointing in terms of just his competitiveness, his ability to compete on the defensive end, and kind of like careless with the ball too. I mean, several times he had to waste a timeout because he was being lazy with it with McDaniels on him. I mean, granted, JJ thought he got tripped. But that's regardless of the point, right? Like he was just turning his back, walking it up, kind of being lazy with the ball. When the game's on the line, like you're not seeing that out of the T-Wolves. It seems to matter much more to them, and they're making the winning plays. And I don't know if that's a reflection of. I mean, I think it is a reflection of Ant. Like that guy is a dog. And I think he's just under the Lakers' skin, and he's making the winning plays. And nothing's going the Lakers' way. And I just don't know if they can live at the free throw line and win a game in this series. It'd be tough. Yeah. I mean, that's how they're going to have to win. They're going to have to get to the free throw line, man. Like,
yeah, no, you're right. My bad. I was making a crazy face just because of this Cavs score. Sorry, I'm trying.
Yeah, it's getting brutal.
Yeah. Come on, Heat. I mean, this is unbelievable, man. Yeah, we might be cooked already.
See you back Monday.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Got to look for next week's rollover.
But anyways, no, yeah, I agree, Jess, with most of what you're saying. So just looking at, I wanted to just bring up and touch on the line. So on Wednesday they play again. So this series is going back to LA, and the Lakers are currently sitting at a 5.5 point favorite. Simi, would you look towards the Lakers here, or is this kind of too many points?
Nah, I'm not backing them on that full game 5.5. I think I'd rather take the Lakers in the first half, maybe, but I don't know. I mean, I also don't have the full enough edge to take the Wolves plus 5.5, but I think I would lean that over taking the Lakers as a kind of heavier favorite. But I think this Lakers team is cooked. I was just checking the box score real quick and looking at who the Lakers have out on the floor, and Jordan Goodwin and Gabe Vincent, Dorian Finney-Smith is like their 6, 7, 8 off the bench, and it's just not really working. Somehow the Wolves have Austin Reeves looking like I've never seen him look before. Yeah, he's all in over his head kind of in this series, and I just haven't seen him looking like that before. So this is kind of just LeBron and Luka, and then I mean, they're starting Jackson Hayes at center, and it's just not going to cut it.
Yeah, it's definitely. It just seems like such a personnel issue with the Lakers. Like they're just not a well built team right now. I mean, which again, I mean, you can't expect too much when they trade for arguably at the time one of the best, if not the best, most dynamic scorer in the league in Luca. But yeah, it's like there was a stretch there. I think in like the second or third quarter, I can't remember, but I feel like Goodwin was in for that entire quarter. And I was like, what is going on? Like I haven't really seen this man play much, but he was in for a long stretch yesterday.
Bro, JJ was just trying to find something that would work and spares Luca and LeBron some minutes. I mean, he played Luca and LeBron the entire. He played the starters that started the second half the entire game, or the entire second half.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That
That's
was
never
a
been
crazy
done
stat.
before in an NBA playoff game. I don't even know if it's ever been done before in an NBA game.
yeah, that is. I guess.
And LeBron's 40 years old.
Why do you think he did that?
I mean, it boils down to they needed that game, bro. I mean, and it's about trust, right? Like, but I mean, something to be said for the Timberwolves. I know we're stuck on the Lakers here, but like Julius Randle is sitting down and guarding like I've never seen him guard in the NBA before. And like you said, it's just a personnel. Like Ant is playing both sides of the ball, and I wish Luca would maybe pick up some of that competitiveness because it's really showing the difference. Kind of, I mean, we talked about this earlier, but the difference between Ant and Jason Tatum right now, and Jason Tatum with Luca from what is like a total 180 from what we saw last year. Like, it's kind of disappointing to see Luca kind of regressing. He looks overweight. He looks like he isn't competing on the defensive end, and dude, it's embarrassing. Like you get in a better situation and you're gonna perform worse. I don't know. It's kind of a knock on Luca right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with that. It is just interesting how I guess if we're just looking specifically at this game 5, the book's making a stand and saying like if this series is going to end in the Timberwolves' favor, it's going to end in Minnesota probably on Game 6. So I want to say there's value on the T-Wolves, but also if you're looking anything just in terms of a possible money line parlay or something with the Lakers to win, I can't talk anyone off of that. So
I like that money line parlay piece. The 5.5 seems like a dirty gamble, but I do like the Lakers to win that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, role players typically shoot better at home. Maybe we'll see a big Austin Reeves game. I would probably now would be a good time to take Austin Reeves over 3-point, whatever it's set at. It's probably gonna be set at like 2.5 tomorrow. I could see him popping off for like 4 threes.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even see I don't think Austin Reeves is really playing that bad. It's just like fitting in, and the Lakers.
Yeah,
it's an identity thing.
Yeah. It's sporadic. Like he'll hit a shot, but like none of it's within the flow of what they're trying to do.
Exactly. Yeah, on FanDuel you can get Austin Reeves. 3 plus 3s is minus 156. 4 plus is plus 164. So possible value on that plus 164 at least.
Yeah, 100%. I like it.
I want to take a quick look before we move on from this, just at some of the Western Conference futures. So right now we've got OKC leading the way at minus 185. Jace, who do you think's in second?
Dude, probably the Warriors, if you're asking me.
Yeah, it is the Warriors. Warriors plus 700.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and also a lot of this has to do with like where they're at in their series. Like obviously the Clippers are down right now, but I think they might still be favored to win the series. So they'll probably shoot up. But yeah, the Warriors plus 700. T-Wolves are at plus 750. And then the Clippers are the next at plus 1,000. I don't know if I see like anything there that I really love, but
to the Nuggets, probably a good value there.
Yeah, the Nuggets are at plus 2,400.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
with a 2-1 series or lead over the Clippers, like I mean, there's value there for sure.
Yeah, Simi, you see anything you like?
Wait, is that Clippers Nuggets series 2-1 or 2-2?
It's a
2-2.
I think it's 2-1, right? No,
wait. Yeah, I think it is 2-1.
Yeah, it's got no, they're on game 5 tomorrow, so
Okay, 2-2.
2-2.
2-2, yeah.
Dude, what are the Heat doing? 8 points in a
Oh yeah, I just
quarter?
saw that too. Getting blasted, bro.
Absolutely
Jeez.
blasted.
The Clippers Nuggets series is. I've been saying the whole time that this series is a trip. I think the Clippers really struggle to put together two good back-to-back games. So whenever they play well, they're gonna likely come out and lose the next game. And then I've also seen flashes of the Nuggets like that make me question if they can win this series too. So this series seems like a dead toss. I think the Clippers are like minus 160 on the series price, maybe. So Vegas is leaning their way. I would probably lean Clippers in that series. But as far as a Western Conference future, other than the Thunder, I don't really have too much. I would just be looking for somewhere that I could get value and then hedge. So maybe we'll look at the Dubs or the
T-Wolves, bro.
Wolves. I want to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Yeah, no,
T-Wolves
that's
have the youth, I think, to like compete against OKC in a 7-game series 100%. That'd be a really fun matchup, I think.
yeah, that's my thing, dude, with the Dubs too even. It's kind of similar to I mean different, but similar to this Lakers problem is like I just feel like the Dubs are also not a deep team either. Like they're so top heavy.
No, not at all.
But like the T-Wolves obviously are a deep team.
The Lakers are deeper than the freaking Warriors even. I mean, like
I mean, yeah, arguably. I get nervous about that. I mean, obviously, I think they have enough star power to get it done here against the Rockets, but I just don't know as we get
But
deeper.
Steph is so dynamic, man. You can win any series with Steph. If Steph is popping off, it's hard. Like it's hard to beat them.
Was Ime Udoka the coach of the Celtics in 2022?
Yeah, when Steph snaps against them. Yeah.
Dude, there's kind of an argument to be made that Steph owns Ime Udoka,
Yeah, he does. He hates him, bro.
which is funny.
Did you see that clip? There's a really funny clip when they played like second to last game of the regular season. He said something to Steph, and Steph was like, "All right, I remember
Yeah.
that."
No,
It's
yeah, he definitely
hilarious.
takes this personal, which is cool.
Dude, we got to get into. I feel like there's a lot of implications with this Pacers versus Bucks. We got to talk about that game from yesterday.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Real quick though, what was I gonna say? Is that the? Let me see if that was the next series I was looking at. Yeah, it actually is. We can move on to that. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, we saw I guess the big news is obviously the Bucks lost, but also Dame Lillard. I don't think it's confirmed, but 95% chance at least that he
No, they
tore his
confirmed
Achilles. Okay. Yeah, so Damian Lillard tore his Achilles. That's going to put him out for a good while. Bucks down 3-1. This series is headed back to Indiana, where it looks to be closed out. Jess, what's your reaction?
Man, initial reaction, obviously, I feel for Dame. He's been starting this league for a really long time, really fun to watch. So it sucks seeing him get hurt, but I mean, I will say we were really sharp on this series. I know we liked the Pacers -1.5, so the Pacers to win in at least 6 games. I think they're going to end up winning in 5. Dude, it's been Pacers this whole time. I mean, you touched on it earlier in the podcast. The Pacers are playing great. They're in great form. They play a unique style. They play fast, but also, man, it's something to be said. They own the Bucks, and I think after this game 5, when the Pacers blow them off the court, we're gonna be seeing a lot of implications for Giannis in his future with the Bucks. I think he's gonna be leaving. So it's interesting to see what the Bucks are gonna go after this game.
Yeah, and we touched on this a little earlier. I think when we brought up the value on that future series price, which I think we all really like at plus 2,100 for the Pacers. Again, this is just another team that's deep. I think they match up really well with the Cavs.
They can shoot.
I don't know if they're at the place right now where they've got a good chance to beat the Celtics, but I mean, we saw what happened in last year's playoffs. They got a couple good games and are able to compete really with anyone at this point. But for tomorrow, this game actually starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time, which is interesting. And the line right now is Pacers -8. Kind of, feels like a similar spot. Well, actually, it's not too similar because this game is in Indiana. I was going to say it's similar to maybe a reason why I wanted to back the Heat, which seems to be the wrong side. I mean, is there any way you're looking at the Bucks here, or is this just stay off or Pacers? Anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say any reason to not take the Pacers here. I think this line seems like maybe 1.5 points short, in my opinion. But I wouldn't back the Bucks with my money right now, no lie.
Yeah. Jess, what do you think?
Dude, I think we deserve flowers, man. We got a lot of hate for being on the Pacers early. Like I said, we grabbed that ticket at plus 112, right? For minus 1.5 series price.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's gonna cash, knock on wood. If things go our way, maybe I jinx ourselves here. But um, yeah, man, I don't see any reason to back the Bucks here. I think I would say it was 8.5.
So there's there's 7.5 still out there. There's eights and there's 8.5s.
Yeah, man. If you can get the Pacers minus 7.5 to come home. Yeah,
Yeah,
enjoy them going on to the next round.
yeah, I'm gonna take that 7.5 actually right now, where that number moves.
I like that. And then just live with the results. It just seems like the side.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this has been a Pacers podcast. I know we mentioned in one of those Instagram clips that was a Pacers podcast, and yeah, very sharp looks from the boys here. Good stuff.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be really cool if we see the Pacers go on and get to the Eastern Conference Finals game, or possibly maybe a NBA Finals.
Yeah, I mean we're giving out that plus 2100, just in terms of value. But yeah, it's going to be really cool to see what their series is priced at next against the Cavs here. So yeah, Pacers minus 7.5 for me. Give me that. I'm all over that.
Question though for you guys before we move on, where do you guys see the Bucks going and Giannis's future with them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I saw some rumblings on Twitter of Giannis and KD teaming up, a couple of athletic freaks. I'm not sure the logistics of that, and then I also saw people talking about how the Bucks have no prospects, no like young people. I think they've gotten some bad end of the sticks on trades, so they kind of wiped themselves out. And then they have Dame, who's future Hall of Famer. Shout out Dame. Definitely sucks about that injury. But some aging stars, and then Giannis, who wants nothing to do with that organization. So Bucks are pretty cooked. Sorry if you're a Milwaukee fan.
They're gonna be coming after you on TikTok, bro.
Yeah, no, they're cooked.
They're coming after me, man.
Yeah, the only, I mean, I guess the good thing, which is of the past now, but thankfully, KD's foot was on the line and they were able to get a championship out of Giannis. So, I mean, I guess it all arguably wasn't for nothing, but it does seem to be the end of Giannis's run in Milwaukee, which is pretty crazy to say. So we'll see. I mean, I'm sure knowing KD and his love for pairing with whatever star he can, he'll probably definitely try to team up with Giannis.
They all go back to the Warriors, man. Give Steph 3 more good years.
Yeah. All right. Let's
kind of lit though.
Yeah, let's move it on to the next series. So this is gonna be the last one or actually no, it's not the last one in the West. We're the second one in the West that we need to talk about, and it's with the game tonight. So we've got the Warriors and the Rockets. So this one is currently 2-1 in the Warriors' favor. Game 4 right now is going to go down in about an hour or so in Golden State. I'm trying to look at the series spread here. So right now you can get the Warriors minus 1.5 at minus 176. So pretty heavily juiced. Jess, where do you see this? Like, do you see the Rockets being able to get one more game, possibly game 5, or is this Dubs in 5 at this point?
I think the Rockets have to win this game tonight. I don't think they do either because, like I said, Steph smelling blood in the water. It's just a tough situation. Like, dude, he he owns I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Udoka, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Um he's owned by Steph, man. So I think Steph he's locked in. I know you mentioned it earlier offline that Steph kind of struggles sometimes when he's a little sleepy and dealing with maybe some problems at home. You never know. Um, but I think he's locked in. I think he's shooting the ball well. We see it. He's 30 more points than the next closest scorer in the series. They don't really have anyone to guard him. Um, and let's be honest, the refs were letting them play this series, and it's still not going the Rockets' way. I think if anything changes up with the refs, if they've been catching some slack from league officials, and they start calling the series even tighter, you could really see this being done in 5. Like, this series is literally being played how the Rockets need it to be played, and they're not winning.
Yeah, Sammy, what do you think?
Yeah, kind of hard to predict the next 2 games. I want to say the Dubs win tonight. The Rockets win game 5, and then the Dubs win the next game. So 4-2 Dubs. Kind of a tough call, though, yeah, but Steph is definitely in the driver's seat here. There was Jess who sent this post on Instagram of Steph's points in the series and how high and above he is over all the rest of these Rockets players. And I think when we listed those top 5 players in the series, it was easy to see that the Warriors have a major edge here. And yeah, just like the Dubs to close us out in probably 6 games.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Right now, you can get the Dubs 4-2 or 4-1, both at plus 210 on FanDuel. So it's basically the same odds, which is kind of wild and interesting. But Jace, I've got a best bet for you, man, on this series. You want to hear it?
Okay. Yeah, give it.
Give me the Houston Rockets minus 1.5 plus 1120 on FanDuel. So basically, Rockets went out. You're getting plus 1,120, 1120.
Dude, you don't actually like that.
Nah, I know. I'm just playing.
I was gonna
I'm
say.
trolling, but that's wild.
Yeah.
That's a wild bet. Yeah, I feel like that should actually be maybe even better odds.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we talked
Especially
about
with Jimmy Butler not even playing right now. That's insane. Like, that's like him not coming back this entire series and Steph forgetting how to play basketball.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But yeah, no, we already gave our sides for tonight. Obviously, I'm on the Rockets plus 4. Jess is on the Warriors minus 3.5. We'll definitely have some reactions to that game on Wednesday. But let's move it on to the next series. This is going to be the last Eastern Conference series. I believe we've got the Magic and the Celtics. I can't lie, the Magic have been battling. It hasn't been. I mean, even though they did split at home, I was impressed that they did get one game, and then it was pretty close. Pretty much the entirety of the game, the Celtics pulled away a little at the end and covered the number. But Jess, what's your feeling right now on the Magic? I guess, like, have they proved anything since last year's little playoff entrance?
Dude, that's kind of hard with the injury to Jalen Suggs. To like really make a stance on that, like when you lose your point guard and really an elite arm ball defender, I think it's kind of tough to really make a statement in terms of that. And I mean, they're playing against arguably the best team in the league in the Celtics. I would like to see the Magic though and Banchero put more emphasis on the regular season. Like, there's no reason with the young group that they have that they really should be playing in the play-in. And just put them in a terrible spot to really compete in these playoffs. Had they been maybe going up against the Knicks or a Bucks, like, this would be different. And we actually would give Banchero and those guys some time in a series to get going and kind of catch a groove as they go into, maybe if they sneak past the first round going into the second round. But, when you get the juggernaut and the Celtics, there's not going to be much going for you if you're not in elite form going into that series, which I mean, I see the Celtics closing this game out back at home, and the Magic have a short trip to Cancun, being down there in Florida.
Playing against the Celtics kind of makes these teams seem irrelevant. Like the Magic are a good young team, but I haven't thought for a second about them in these playoffs just because the Celtics are going to steamroll them straight to Cancun. So the Magic definitely have a big future, and they have some good young talent. But yeah, I mean, I just can't. They're a complete afterthought in this series.
Agreed. What about you, CK?
Yes,
I know you
feel
love
like what we see with the Magic.
God.
Oh, there goes my little thing. Jace, you want to give a little reaction?
Yo, we need
I get this.
No, we need we need to create some odds on Cameron's camera going out.
Difficulties.
It's like at
minus 300 per day.
Minus 300 right now. God, and he's going backstage, ladies and gentlemen. Cam, just switch it to your computer, bro.
My computer's closed right now.
Dude, you are. But this is black and white takes, baby. Come on.
Now let me get this camera up before I say what I was gonna say.
Chase, I love the background of the sportsbook, man.
You do? Yeah, it's kind of fire, man.
Makes me feel like I'm back in Vegas at Bellagio.
Dude, yeah, we need to make a trip soon. Remember we were there last year on May 10th, betting the Pacers, man?
Yeah, almost this time last year.
Yes, sir.
Cam, when are we taking another Vegas trip, bro?
Oh, man. Definitely at some point this year. We need to make it happen, right?
Yeah. You need people to run up this account and get us out to Vegas. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Live show from Vegas.
Just need this run to keep going.
Yeah.
But real quick, what I was going to say about the Magic was I think the Magic's problem is, I mean, obviously Jalen Suggs being out. And just on what you said about them playing in the play, and I totally agree. But I will say, and I hope this is just a one-year occurrence just with the amount of games that Wagner and Paolo both missed. It's been an injury-ridden year for them. I think like Paolo missed like 30 plus, Wagner missed like 20 plus. So, it is hard when your stars are hurt, but they need to obviously stay healthy and get better seeding so that they're not going up against a juggernaut like the Celtics in the first round. But I do think overall, though, what I've seen this series has been pretty promising from their two stars in terms of Wagner and Banchero. But the Magic's issue is they're just not a deep team. And similar to the Lakers, similar to a couple other teams that we've talked about, they just don't have – I mean, if you look at all the box scores, like they're crazy. Like you've got Paolo and Wagner scoring like 60% of their points at least every single game. But I feel like I've seen a lot of – I've actually been impressed by Paolo more this series than I was in last year's playoff against the Cavs. He's actually, I think, played really well this series. Averaging 32 a game. And, I feel like he's kept his team alive and even gotten them a win. So.
No, and I agree with that, right? And that's why I mentioned, it's hard to really evaluate it with Jalen Suggs getting that injury and, like you said, Paolo being injured, Wagner being injured. But like, how many times are we gonna have the conversation that they performed well in the first round and lost, but like this is year two, we're talking about the same talking points, right? Like at some point you gotta produce.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think it takes that body of work, and they've got to stay healthy, and it's going to start in the regular season, like you said. So real quick, just looking at this game 5 that's headed back to Boston. So Boston's up 3-1. It's Celtics minus 11.5. I feel like I'd probably lean Magic here just because we know how the Celtics can be at home sometimes. And just in general, they always find a way to Celtic. And to be honest, I think Banchero and even Wagner, like I think they're two guys that, if we're being honest, they probably didn't expect to win this series, but they're playing with heart and they're definitely, for their dignity and just young stars, I'd say, that are really trying to prove themselves. So I think that they're going to not do what the Heat did tonight and definitely keep this game close. I see value on the Magic plus 11.5, honestly.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
Would you bet that though, CK?
I actually probably would. I think enough to bet it. If it was like 9.5, it would be a lean. Probably not a bet, but at 11.5, I mean, I'm trying to think. I think that's. Well, let's think. What were the game 1 and 2 lines? They were kind of big. I remember game 1 might have been 12.5, and
Yeah,
then
it's
game
been hovering
2.
right around this 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, so actually, I felt like I was getting more, but I think that with after seeing the Magic actually be able to win a game, I mean, for them to split at home is a win for them for sure. Um, but I think the fact that they were actually able to win a game, I do think that there is value on this 11.5. So that's definitely a sprinkle for me. I'm trying to see if we could like parlay that with the Pacers, like the Celtics Pacers money line. It's minus 200. That's not going to work.
No, it's too big.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Parlay with
But yeah,
the Lakers.
The Lakers.
parlay with the
money line.
Lakers.
Three-way money line parlay.
Yeah, that's the. Sometimes I hate doing it overnight, but that might be a look. Honestly, have that last leg be the Lakers money line.
It's the worst feeling when the Lakers smoke that and you waited overnight for it.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this last series. This is going to be in the Western Conference. Who's our last series, Jay? It's the Clippers and the Nuggets. So we just talked about pretty much where they're at. This series is tied up. Game 5 headed back to Denver. I was kind of surprised by the line here, but this is another one, Simi, that the guest on the J Money podcast said he loved. But the Clippers here are a small favorite. I'm seeing -2 on FanDuel. Simi, are you pretty much in a line with that's the play, or do you see value on the Nuggets here at home?
I don't know. This is a tough game. I think I have the Clippers here, and Vegas is giving the Clippers respect with that -160 series price, and then they're laying points on the road. But not super confident. I think I want to get there on the Clippers though for tomorrow.
Jess, what do you think?
CK and J?
Dude, I like Clippers here. I think kind of emotional loss, crazy loss with at the buzzer with Aaron Gordon, dunking that back end with like no time left. I just see the Clippers winning this game. Nothing too much to it other than are they home or is it at the Nuggets?
In Denver.
And Nuggets are favored -2.5, you said?
Clippers favored -1.5.
Oh, man. Yeah, man.
Trippy
I think it's trippy. I think, dude, the Clippers have kind of looked, outside of the game yesterday, I think the Clippers have looked better throughout the series. I'm trusting them here. I think they cover the -1.5. Looking for a big game from Kawhi.
I like the Clippers zigzagging. I feel like they've win, lost, win, lost. Simple
True.
formula. I like them to win.
Yeah, good
But
point.
this team has trouble putting back-to-back games together, like I was saying.
Well, good thing they lost last game. Give us Clippers -1.5. Come on.
I like the Clippers.
I'm on a different side here, fellas. I feel like I'm kind of a lone boat here, but I think before the series, Jason, when we talked about this, I was leaning Clippers on the series, but I've had a change of heart based off what I've seen on the Nuggets.
Coach Jokic.
Yeah, I lean Nuggets here. I just feel like I don't even know what it is. The series is definitely a trip. I don't really necessarily have a specific bet here. I don't even know if I would take the +2, but if you were to ask me where I think the possible value is or who I think is winning this series, I actually think Denver finds a way to get this done. I think that Kawhi's a little inconsistent, and I mean, we know Harden's limitations. Yes, he's been playing good ball. We know what Zubac can do, but I still think that the star power of Jokic, and really, I mean, we've seen him, Murray, MPJ, Gordon. These guys have plenty of big game experiences, championship experience under their belt. I think the fact that this series is 2-2, like the Clippers could not have given a game on the road or at home, and they did, and now it's 2-2 headed back to Denver. I'm leaning Nuggets here for sure. So.
True. I mean, it has been a really great series.
Yeah,
honestly, it's been one of the better ones. I would say this, and then the Pistons Knicks. Just really good basketball being played, really competitive, and yeah, I mean, I can't talk you out of the Nuggets. This has really been a pick 'em across all the games except for game 2. But I'm going to take Kawhi and Harden here over Jokic.
Cool. Yeah, that we'll definitely follow that one. But no, I think that was some good series recaps, previews as to what's to come as this first round closes out. Simi, you want to talk about this little ending segment we got here on the schedule?
Yeah, this is funny.
Yeah,
everyone's talking about it.
One, but
do the second one.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So there's been some ongoing debate on Twitter, probably a couple of social media apps, but just a matchup of 100 men versus one silverback, specifically silverback gorilla, and who wins and what that would look like. So I'm interested in if y'all have any thoughts about that.
Of course, I have tons of thoughts about this. Can we on 3 all give our take at the same time? Only because I wanna see where we land. I don't want. All right.
Wait, how are we gonna give our take? Can we
like
do
just pick?
I need to do like fingers?
One. Yeah, just pick a side on 3. All right.
Yeah, let's do fingers. So 1 is the 100 men, 2 is the gorilla.
Okay.
I just don't know how the audio will.
Yeah, you're good. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question here. Like one gorilla. I mean, like I saw someone put it this way, right? Like a grizzly bear has taken down a silverback gorilla. In like 2022, wasn't there like a bunch of Iowa wrestlers? There's like 4 of them that got in a fight with a gorilla or with a grizzly and held them off. Like, and that was just 4 college wrestlers, man. Like 100 men. Like,
yeah, I think there might be a right answer to this question. I think we're all on it.
Yeah. I mean, we'd all have to be on the same mission as the 100 men. Like the first like 3 people are dying.
No, they're cooked.
They're cooked. But like if everyone goes in at one time, I don't see how the gorilla comes out alive.
Yeah, there has to be. Everyone has the same focus. But unfortunately, there's going to be some sacrifices. And then another question that I would ask is there any specific person that you would want on your team of 100 men that you could think of, and for what reason?
Oh yeah, give me Alex Jones.
Good.
Give me John Morant because he's always strapped. And that's all I need right there.
Jaw's a good one. As long as he can't bring his RPG. He just has to use fists.
Wait, why Alex Jones?
I meant
you meant John Jones?
John Jones, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is
Alex Jones?
Shoot. My head that's in the wrong spot here, folks.
I gotcha.
I could take Draymond on the squad too. I think he could be a good asset fighting the silverback.
Give me the who is it? The 445-pound guy that just got drafted from Florida.
Oh yeah.
Probably weighs half of what that gorilla might weigh.
He'll be a good first line of defense.
Yeah, we'll need.
But we do need some like obedient dumb people that are willing to go in there and get their head ripped off.
That's a good point. We do need someone to tire him out, or people to tire him out,
or just distract them.
Yeah.
Like someone who just has
Runners.
courage.
Like someone who just has courage.
Take the cross country team.
Take the cross country.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
But wait, before we close out,
real brave.
Before we close out, I was excited to talk about this. The everything shower. Are we
Yeah,
not
let's
going to do
rip
that?
it.
Come on. We got to rip it real quick.
Dude,
Let's
I
rip it.
hear
So-
only girls talk about the everything shower.
Yeah, no, I've never heard guys talk about everything shower. That's why I was interested. So I'd
So,
want to
Simi,
know.
what is an everything shower?
Yeah, I don't think there's one universal definition. So I was interested in your guys' takes on this. I want to know what your everything shower would involve and about how long that would take. And it can be as specific or unspecific as you think.
CK, you want to go first?
I mean, I can take a stab at it, but I would say, first off, I don't know why. It's just a funny phrase, but everything shower for me, we got to scrub in between the cheeks. No, I'm just kidding. That's all the time shower. All the time shower. But we do need to scrub in between the cheeks, scrub the body, preferably with something that's kind of exfoliating-ish. So exfoliating the skin, scrubbing the body, and then what's everything without also doing the hair. So I'm doing shampoo, conditioner in the hair, leaving that conditioner in for about 2 minutes. While that conditioner's sitting in there, I'm taking my face wash, scrubbing my face. I realize even if I wash my face in the morning and I take a shower like an hour later after the gym, I still got to wash my face if I wash my hair. So washing the face is definitely part of that routine. And then we're rinsing out the conditioner and the face wash off the skin at the same time. And then, yeah, that's an everything shower for me. I don't know if I did that
Any
right.
music or like candles or anything outside of the shower? Okay. I know you've mentioned bath bombs before in the past.
Jeez, man. Yeah, you definitely are exposed me there. No, we're not taking baths unless we're with the special lady, but nah, no, nothing too crazy. Not music, definitely not music. Sometimes I'll listen to a little sports podcast or something in the shower while I'm doing all this.
How long would
So-
your everything shower take, CK?
Oh, can't lie. Sometimes I'll let that water run before I even step in. Sometimes I'll be, on the toilet or chilling, but probably all in all, but from the time the water turns off to on or on to off, I would say, I want to say like 18 to 20 minutes if I had to try to pinpoint that. So
That's good. Pretty
yeah,
concise.
that's my everything shower. How about you
Jake,
guys?
thoughts?
Oh man. My everything shower. Strap in, boys. I usually start with a dump on the toilet.
Fair.
After I turn the water on, let it warm up a little bit. Turn on some Eric Church. I have a nice shower speaker. So taking my dump, Eric Church warming up, shower warming up. We just lost Cameron, but whatever. He was the reason
He's
my
about to go
feedback
take an
was so
everything
bad.
shower.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, man. Usually started with a dump. Then I just body wash, and then I have this like anti-dandruff shampoo that's prescription, so I have to leave that in for 5 minutes. So by the time the next song comes on, I'm making sure I have that
5
nice and
minutes?
lathered in. Yeah, I know it takes forever. And then during that time, I'm cleaning the body. Maybe shave. I get a really bad neck beard, so I'll shave that during that time too. And then, yeah, man, then I wash it out and then put some conditioner in, and that's about it. It usually takes me about 12 to 15 minutes. Nothing too crazy. I never heard
I wanna
guys talk
know-
about this, though.
I also want to know about your opposite of an everything shower. So like the quickest shower that you take. I think you
Oh,
took
dude,
one of those
that's
last week you
like-
mentioned it.
Yeah, man, that's really quick. I'm gonna be lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's like probably 5 of the 7 nights a week. It's probably like a 2 to 3 minute shower. Just cleaning, just quick body washing out, man.
I like that. I wonder if girls have that in their bag too. Like,
Yeah,
I guess
girls.
they call it like a body shower, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think girls be washing their hair. They're kind of gross sometimes, but let us know in the comments if you guys what's your everything shower, ladies. All right, man.
Let's see, for
You good?
mine,
Oh yeah. Give us
I'm just
yours.
gonna run mine real quick. So I have a speaker too. Sometimes I put it in the shower, sometimes outside of the shower. Just depends on if the speaker's getting wet or not. But turn on a little playlist. Probably like to keep like the same vibe for the whole shower. Maybe something relaxing.
Elevator
And
music or music with words?
definitely music with words. Maybe like a little bit softer beats though. Nothing too
True.
too many BPMs.
So Drake.
But I'm Drake. Drake in the shower is a little. I don't know about that. But I'm gonna start with shampoo, and then I'll condition. Probably leave the conditioner in for like 2 minutes, like CK said. But I'm not gonna wash my face while I also have conditioner in my hair, and definitely not gonna rinse them both out at the same time. And then after that, I would wash my face after the shampoo condition, and then definitely get the pits and the body with body wash.
and the cheeks.
Yeah, exactly. And the body wash I have at home, I take probably like half my showers out of the week at the gym, but the body wash at the gym sucks. So
Mm.
I just bring the
Smart
home
play.
body wash to the gym.
It's a smart
But yeah,
play.
we're using the gym's water most of the time now.
Yeah, smart play.
And then,
California, they be running you up for the water.
yeah, bro, exactly. I think that everything shower would probably take like 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, that's usually like once a week, and then the rest are maybe not as short as your like 2 minute shower, but yeah, like 5 to 7 minutes or so for the rest of the week. But
Dude, I'm not trying being there too long.
yeah, I feel that. It's just another thing that you have to do, you know, or you don't have to, but
Yeah, well, you should. You should. Dang, that's crazy. We got the white and black everything shower. Now we just need the ladies everything shower in the comments, and we'll be good. We'll be able to provide some good information.
yeah, I'm interested in how long their everything shower takes and how quick ours is in comparison.
Dude, that's a great question.
Yeah,
We're stumped over here. Help us out.
yeah, we'll check some comments maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, man. You got anything else for the show?
All good, man. Enjoy these games tonight.
Yeah,
Back
man.
Wednesday,
Hopefully.
right?
Hopefully we hit. Hopefully the Heat can make a comeback. But as always, this is Black and White Takes, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like our content, please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Yeah, we're trying to grow our page. So just as we said earlier in the episode, we will be going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. So see you guys then. Peace.
All right, man. We out.